Hi, guys. All right. So, guys, I had this image of somebody in my mind in the airport and they had like lost something that was important. I don't know if they had like sat down, lost a jacket, a coat, a charger, a piece of luggage, but it was like they were in my mind. This was somebody in an airport and they'd been like waiting. And I don't know if they, moved around seat to seat, stretched their legs, whatever. But it was like, oh my God, now it's getting time to go. And I'm realizing I lost something I was supposed to have with me before this next journey. So I don't know if this is somebody who's about to take a journey and they were ready, and now, uh-oh, now I'm not. We have post office for a little bit of location. Okay, so maybe somebody's supposed to mail something. We have mail delivery, written correspondence, package tracking. This could be that somebody, it's not about them, like getting on an airplane and, oh my God, where is this? I always think of these specific messages more like it's the imagery for the metaphor, right? What is this trying to tell us? What is the specific message then trying to like broaden and show us the story of? And this looks like somebody either it they lost something that they need to have right now. They lost that really important piece of paper. They might be thumbing through, desperately seeking their, maybe it is somebody needed like a ticket. Maybe they bought a ticket and they lost their ticket. Maybe they were waiting to get their passport back through the mail. And it's like, oh my God, I missed it. It was supposed to come today, or something that was, it needs to be by Christmas. I will say that we have Christmas decorations here. Something has to happen by a certain date. And it's like, if I don't get this sent off now, if I don't start this process now, I won't be able to do X, Y, or Z by Christmas. And I was, yeah, Four of Cups. They have all these plans. Okay. So I don't know if somebody is like applying for a building permit, applying to move somewhere, applying to buy a home. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, are all my T's, crossed and my I's dotted? Did I fill out that paperwork? Did I mail it? Did I do the certification? Did I remember to get it notarized? It feels like it's a multi-process thing, like bit of paperwork that had to be done before they can fly. Again, we see flying. Somebody either needs to take a trip someplace and they need to make sure that all their documents are in order, or before they can go visit somebody, they maybe want to get a house built. Before there's this feminine who's laying here, and we have somebody who needs to like, with the Four of Cups, they feel like they already made mistakes. They can't make another one. If they're gonna, this is like Sleeping Beauty. It's like, if I'm gonna be able to give her the kiss of life that brings her back to life, I have to have everything worked out. Okay, my impression right now is that we have somebody who has literally been trying to build a house because they think a massive offer like that would be something that they could say, look, remember when we talked about that dream house? I know we've been broken up. I know that everything went to hell between us, but do you remember a long time ago when we talked about our future together? I built this house. I'm having this house built. Everything that we talked about. Remember those years ago? It almost feels like this is what they want to do, is to show like, I did all of this because I listened to every word. Like, that's how important all this time you have stayed that important to me. I regret that, we had problems. I regret that we didn't build it together. I've been working on exactly the dream that we shared together. Will that be enough to prove something to you that I'm for real? Like, this looks huge. Okay. This looks like somebody that is going all out to try to fix something that maybe went so wrong that's why they're like, look, this is the only way I could maybe convince somebody to take me serious again, is if I do something this extravagant. That's the only way to like wake her back up. This is the kiss of true love, so to speak, to wake her back up and make her look at me again. I mean, that sounds very huge, I know, but these specific messages are what they are. We have a Two of Coins. That, or maybe somebody is possibly going to try to move to be in her region, move to be with her. This does have something to do with locations on Earth, and I feel like it's crossing borders. I feel like it's travel. I feel like it's building a house, and I feel like all of this has something to do with how else will I restore balance to this connection unless I can prove to her Either I'm not the person that I used to be, or I'm the person that I used to be, but better. And this is it feels like, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And let me show you how sorry I am. 10 of Wands. They are doing something extreme to try to alleviate their own guilt. Yes. But where is this coming from? This huge guilt. Death card. They walked away from somebody and they want this somebody back. I feel like this is a story where two people, they had dreams together. They talked about the house they'd live in. That's very important. That's a central part of this. We talked about the house we would live in, the blueprint of what it would look like. And it was something specific. It was something kind of unique. They talked about the future they'd want to have together and how, like, the dreams that they had. And then I don't know if this is a masculine, possibly. We have Lady Liberty down here as well, which that would at least say possibly a feminine was in the United States. But maybe we could also talk about France, right? But let's say this is, he didn't at that point in time, not only did he not choose to follow through with their plans that they had shared together. This has been a huge regret, right? That Four of Cups is massive regret. And he walked away, he ended things with her instead of building the future that they wanted. And this is the other path in life he could have taken. And this is the path he's trying to take now because the regret is so huge. He's got to put an end to this heavy burden of the regret of not taking the path. I don't know if he stayed somewhere else, if he didn't choose to move, maybe he needed to uproot his whole life to move to be with her or something. There's something about the post office, nothing else can afford to go wrong right now. And we have this tension, if I mess this up again, oh my God, it's going to be awful. Maybe this is I have to be able to come see her by Christmas, and I have to, the ultimate Christmas gift is I messed everything up a long time ago, but I built that house that we talked about. I know I walked away once a long time ago, but this is what I wish I had done. And so this is what I've gone ahead and tried to build, to now offer it to you because I didn't build it with you before. But if I don't get this paperwork and everything done, God, we got the Knight of Swords. There's definitely a tension and hurry, hurry, hurry. Maybe they're waiting to get permits so that the building can really get started. This almost feels like the only way they can salvage this in their mind is if by the end of the year, this is Year of the Snake, Christmas is pretty much headed to the end of the year, they have to have things like the foundation needs to be poured. The house may not be fully built, but I have to be able to give her something. I have to give her, here's the blueprints to the house that I'm having built. It was the house we talked about. But it's if I don't get this pushed and started right now, I won't have that gift. And my whole plan is to have this gift to say, you see how sorry I am. You see what I wish I had done. Why do you have all these regrets? Why did you not choose this before? Why did you choose to walk away? The Devil, the Chariot. This could have been lust. This could have been money. There's a lot of lust on this particular Devil card. Did they choose somebody that they thought had a bunch of money? Is that what this was? Because even the little crab has a pearl necklace on. And here we've got emeralds, and we've got gold stars with rubies in the middle. I do wonder if this person chose a different partner at one point. Then why is it that it seemed like you first had planned a life and talked about a home and everything with a particular person? Tell me about that. Tell me about this feminine that you seem to want to kiss and wake back up. Four of Wands, you talked about building a home with her. Knight of Coins. But okay, so this is so crazy. They talked about building a life with her, right? But they realized the kind of life that she and they envisioned would require money. And it was I'm never going to be able to build that life with her. So in this very skewed, and I'm not going to pretend that I understand this, okay? But this is the message we've got. in this very bizarre, very skewed way. It's like, I want to have this beautiful house, this beautiful life that she and I have talked about. I love this idea. I want to build this with her, but God, it's going to take forever. But she got me thinking about this good life, quality food, expensive restaurants, amazing, like palatial home to live in. She's got me thinking about this amazing life. And then either they decided, okay, maybe I can go get with somebody who has money. And this could have been, they all of a sudden were like, I've got to go get money. So I'm going to stop dating her to go date somebody else with money. Then somehow maybe I can get some of their money. Or I'm going to become so obsessed with getting money that everything is about like career and not about the relationship at all. So instead of building the future one stone at a time, one brick at a time with the person that they loved and wanted to build this with, because they wanted to marry her, they instead became obsessed with this idea of must have the money to build the house, instead of like, oh man, I love the vision of what she and I will build together, and we're going to build it one brick at a time together, and we're going to love doing it together because it's our future we're building. Instead, it's like they forgot about, hey, I love her, and they became obsessed with must get the money for the big house. That's where the happiness begins. Can't have happiness till the big house. And maybe they got so seduced by like anything for money, any kind of business. It doesn't matter. Even if business takes me away, it doesn't matter. They fully committed to the obsession with the money, the wealth. The wealth was everything. They forgot the only reason the wealth ever mattered was because that was part of like the blueprints for what the house was going to look like, and houses are expensive. But I feel like this person put the emphasis on the wrong thing. This doesn't mean that they went off and cheated with somebody, not at all. In fact, the more I look at this, the more I'm like, oh, I don't think that they went after somebody else with money. I think that they became so obsessed with having to get the money that they threw away the relationship. They may have even taken a job that took them further away, took them to, like, I have to work out of the country. I'll be gone for 2 years. So then I can afford that house because that's where the happiness begins. Instead of realizing, but why didn't you build it with her? Who cares if it took 50 years? It would have been 50 years of building it together. Even now, I have to say, we don't see a change in this personality type. We still see them super hyper focused on the deadlines for have to have the house, the blueprints, the foundation has to be poured. So then I can come back and I can say, I regret that I didn't do this with you. But see, I did all that time that I stayed away from you to go get the money. See, I did make progress. But all of this feels like this person runs themselves ragged, and there's always stress and tension about how are all the pieces of the puzzle going to fit together. But it's because they make stuff so like, it's like this person over compartmentalizes, or they get this one track mind and they're like, the money is how we have the happiness, forgetting that it was the happiness of building things together and not worrying the money will come, that maybe we'll build a house together, or maybe we'll find a house that has everything that we want, or maybe we never will, but we'll have each other. And that'll be our adventure. They couldn't see it that way. And even now, it's all about the intensity of the time, what's got to happen by this date. All the paperwork has to be done. Queen of Swords. I feel like this person is going to prematurely age themselves. Even here, like maybe she understands them quite well, by the way, with the Queen of Swords being here. Their head is sitting in her lap, but they have these glowing red eyes. It's like even when they're with me, they get one thing that they hear in their head, and that's all they can see. It's all they can think about. They're not even present with me because they're hyper focused on this must have the money. She may have known this when she was with them. She saw it. She was like, oh God, this person, even though he's right here and I'm giving him a scalp massage, his eyes are fixed on some future, and the intense, person could be highly competitive too. This intense desire to have a goal that almost seems unattainable, and then they just hyper focus on it. And she's like, this isn't going to work because he's never going to be here with me. In any conversation we have, he may decide on the one thing that clicked in his head is, we casually talked about our future, and I casually mentioned, oh, it'd be so nice to have house, I've always wanted to live here, and sometimes we just daydream with a partner, right? It doesn't mean that we're necessarily saying, in order to be happy together, we need to live in this house. But I'm realizing, like, in this story, she understood something. She either saw his eyes like glaze over and she could see, okay, he just disappeared. He's sitting here in front of me, but his brain is on one component of this conversation that we had. And that's all he's after now. It's like I'm not even in the room. That is an interpretation of the devil. They think that they have to, maybe this is a divine masculine that has this hyper, like concept of, I have to provide. Maybe he's like, I have to provide huge amounts of stuff before I can then have a happy relationship. Maybe that's the way he was trained or raised, or maybe that's his competitive nature, or maybe that's like, this is how he proves it. See, I'm a great partner because she said she wanted a house like this when we first met, so I went out and got it. Maybe it's a talking point to tell to other people to prove, see, that's how you know I'm the right person for her, because she said she wanted it and I got it for her. Him, her, doesn't matter. This could be an overly generous person where their generosity switches into, like I said, anything that is even well-intentioned can become toxic with the devil. Anything that is imbalanced, just like any belief system, as long as it makes you a better, kinder person, great. But when you become fanatical, when your belief system doesn't leave room for anybody else's differing opinions, that's when you're in trouble, because you got no perspective anymore and you become hyper focused and you're the only person who can be right and it has to be this way, and there's no room for anything that isn't your 100%, this is how it is. And now it becomes like controlling and fanatical. And I almost think that this person has a well-meaning and generous heart, can flip into, they equate happiness with, I have to provide the thing that she maybe even only casually mentioned. Then that is happiness. And then I will be able to have my happiness with her. I'm still trying to figure out, do you understand that bit yet? Or are you still just hyper focused on, got to get that house, the foundation done, so that then by Christmas, because it's like they went and dedicated themselves to like work, the lust for money. That's all they did. They left the connection to only focus on money. That this relationship has essentially been over for a long time because they've been gone, because they've been chasing money, but so that they could build this, and they got to come back by Christmas. And there's so many moving parts, so many things that, what if this isn't done right? What if I forget that? What if this piece of paperwork isn't complete? Then all of these plans with this tight timeline fall apart. 3 of Cups. Look, this says they will make those timelines. And this says, and they have like some huge plan also of, I'm going to take her out for a fancy dinner. This will be how I restore all of her faith in me. See, surprise, I've been gone for 2 years, but I'm back because I built that house. Surprise, here's the deed to the house, or here's the blueprints that have already been begun, and here's this big fancy dinner. I feel like this person has to do really flashy things instead of just be present in the relationship. Is there any perspective shift on this? We have the plan to have a very fancy dinner together. Ace of Swords. Again, this is somebody whose head is detached from their body, just like we saw with the Queen of Swords. That Ace of Swords is a very necessary conversation. I worry that for all of their intention of giving somebody the world, they're not giving the person that they love most in the world the one thing that they need to, which is be there with me, be there for me, build it with me. They didn't do that with the Queen. They went off and did it themselves and are trying to come in and offer it. And I don't know if she's going to want it. And that would be devastating. She's been building her own life. She may say, that conversation that we had all that time ago, you haven't been around. I built a whole life now without you, and my life is right where I want to be. I don't want to uproot and move to the house that you said you're building without me, that you disappeared on me for 2 years so you could go make all the money to go build that house instead of being with me. Together we could have grown, but right now I have a different life that I've built. You weren't with me. You weren't there with me in the day to day in these years. So my life went a different route. I'm rooted where I'm at. I have a job that I love. I'm where I want to be. Oh my God, this could devolve into two people like even arguing. What do you mean I did this for us? You didn't do this for us because you did it without me. Like that's what this feels like. Oh boy. Very interesting story, but it definitely feels Five of Cups. I don't know if this is going to uncover all kinds of like the underlying reason somebody operated this way. It almost feels like there is so much sorrow, like we could have built everything together. This is the dying of dreams. And this could be very overly dramatized because they could be saying, I did all this and you don't even want me. I don't think that's what this is. I think it's uncovering you listened to one thing, but then you went off and just did it without me. And now you're offering this to me on a silver platter, but I never wanted it this way. I wanted to be with you. And it's like, but his dream was, I build all of this and then I give it to you. I keep wondering if there wasn't some kind of big expectation placed upon him, like by a mother figure, where it's like he had to be this ultra provider for like a feminine. And in this storyline, like that's how he was like trained. And it was good. He got the accolades. He did everything that like a mother figure ever asked of him. But now when it comes to her, she's different. She's not a mother figure. She's not part of that mold that he knew, which is you told me what you wanted, so I went out and got it for you, no matter how hard I had to work for it. And she's like, no, that's maybe how you were raised. Somebody who told you what you had to go do for them. That's not who I am, though. I wanted to build it with you. You wouldn't let me build it with you. So now I've built something of my own without you. Because what did you think? I was sitting at home doing nothing? No, I've been building a life. The life I wanted to build with you, but you split to go get money to then go build a house without me. This is so tough because the thing that he thought was going to be the slam dunk. See, here's the proof. I'm the catch. I win the prize. I did everything you told me you wanted. So now I'm with you. And she's kind of like either saying, I don't want to go move to that house that you spent 2 years to figure out how you were going to be able to build. You didn't consult with me. You went off and did it and you left me alone in the meantime. But this is like the breaking of almost like his mind, his training told him, if I did all this, this is the way I'm supposed to be. I keep thinking that he had a mother figure who totally messed with his head about this is what you have to do in a partnership. This is what you have to do for anybody who asks you for something. You better give it to them and then you get the, pats on the head. Good boy. You did good. That's how this feels. Like I said at the beginning, it seemed like somebody was like a really big people pleaser. We have the art card, which is a temperance card. Honestly, this could be, on one hand, devastating, combined with like shocking to him, combined with, so all this was for nothing. We have the ghost town, but at the same time, maybe this is where that fever breaks. Remember how if he heard one thing, he would file it in his brain and be like, that's what I have to go out and do. And it's like you couldn't reel him in. But finally, he did all this. He followed the program that he was trained and programmed to do, only to discover it's not getting him what he thought he was supposed to get at the end of it. It's not yielding those results. And it's also freedom. Like, wait a minute, you mean all the stress I've lived under, all this, have to make these huge debuts, have to create all these things, have to offer it on a silver platter. You mean to say that's not the way it was supposed to go between you and me? You mean you wanted to be a balanced partnership? It's like he's getting a new deck of cards handed to him. I think it's going to save him years of his life because this kind of stress would be aging somebody. The frantic pace to have to go out and do everything and then offer it on a silver platter, all done, instead of just have a partnership. Like, I don't know that he knew how to be in a partnership because I think he was programmed to just be a giver. This was not a villain. He is anything but a villain. This is a tough lesson maybe for him to learn, because it seems like it's a rejection of his life's work. But again, this was so misguided. But this is actually the moment of freedom from a lot of that concept that I have to give, and I can't stop and I have to keep giving. No, you needed to simmer down and have a partner. King of Coins. He'll always have the nature of being a giver. That's true. But I think his life is about to get a lot sweeter. He may have to readjust, or she and he together are going to have to still talk about, like, okay, so you've been building this house without me. Okay. Look, I love my life here. You didn't, I don't know if he built a house like in another state or another province or another country, even to say, I built it to the specs. That's where I could afford it. This house is great. Maybe she's going to go see it. Or maybe it's going to be like, how much more would it cost to finish this house? Or since you sold it, or since you built it, if it's done or something, can you sell it? Because maybe all of your work will actually wind up becoming something sweeter and better. Maybe even though I don't want to move into it with you because we didn't build it together and I built this other life here, what if you joined me here? What if you sold that? You get all that money back plus some, because he's making sweet, sweet honey, right? It actually feels like being with her is going to be a better life, and he's going to stop living that mentality that I have to give and that's all I'm here to do. Instead, maybe he's going to learn how to be a partner. But if anything, either they're going to find a way to still make this whole thing work. The house, the blueprints, the land that he bought, or whatever it is, the starting point that he thought he was going to offer her. I kept seeing only the blueprints, like the house wasn't fully built yet. But it could be that he made a great investment and he could make more money off of it selling it. And it's like, okay, so the last 2 years of my life that I damn near killed myself running around trying to make money to buy this, then now she says she doesn't even want, because she never wanted it to be that way. I do have to scrap this. I mean, unless it's what I want too. I don't even think it was what he wanted. I think it's what he thought he had to do. So if he's able to sell off that land, hang on to that money, maybe it's a better investment when he resells it. It could wind up being like, oh my God, I got the relationship, but actually it turns out it's a person who wants to be a partner to me. That fever has broken, and I finally realize I get to be a partner, which means I don't run away for 2 years and just kill myself to make money and then come back and offer stuff. That's not what the dynamics are going to be with her. She wants me to be her partner, which is sweet. It's nice. It means I'm not just a worker bee. It means I get to be with her, but also the money that I did work hard for, I didn't lose it. In fact, I might have just gained, all because she's somebody with like more fair and balanced opinions. She wants to be with me. We make better decisions together than apart. This is the partnership. All of a sudden his life gets more balanced, even though at first, man, this could be an awkward conversation. This could be angry. This could be like, I did all this for you to prove that I love you. And she's like, you should have been beside me. That's what I wanted from you. I didn't want you to go out, run away from me, buy land, start building a house without me, to come back and give it to me on a silver platter. That's not the kind of love story I want. That's not the kind of romance I want. I want to be with my partner. That's what I wanted from you. I don't know who told you love looked like expensive gifts, but that's not what's going to make me stay with you. In fact, it's going to repel me from you. I don't even want to be with you if that's how you're going to do things. You have to be present with me. I feel like that is the conversation that needed to have. It's so liberating. It totally, I mean, yes, it may be crazy that it breaks his programming and makes him, and please know, this does not have to be a man and a woman. This could be same-sex couple. It's just, we're describing a character who was programmed that the way to show love is you must, if somebody says something, you must go out and get that thing and give it to them. This is an over-giver because of how they were programmed. And I think their life is going to get infinitely better to finally be able to realize a partnership, somebody who really loves me, they don't want me for what I can give them. They want me around them. And together we'll build stuff together. But they don't want me gone and then show back up when you've got presents. I'm wondering if this is the best turn of events in his entire life. If this is where he finally realizes, oh my God, I'm loved. And maybe her rejecting this gigantic offer is the only way he could have ever had this stunning like realization in many ways. And I do think he has a ton of pride. He's, dressed as like a matador, and, they do very, extreme postures. And it's, I'm almost picturing that his sense of pride in himself is now changing because he actually knows what it feels like to be genuinely loved. This is a Queen of Swords who doesn't want his stuff. She wanted him. And I think it sinks into his head finally. I think it all clicks now. It makes sense. She wants me. I don't think I've been loved before. I didn't know that that's what love could feel like. This is very sweet. This works out so much better. So much better, even though it is a mess to get there for sure. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. I know that was very specific. That's what we get sometimes. That's why it's a highly specific message. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Really appreciate you. And don't forget, in these specific messages, these are the ones where I leave the comments on. So if you would like to, you can type the word HEAL, HEAL. That gets you entered to win, because each Monday I randomly select a winner and I do a storytelling for the winner. I thought the word heal was, if we're going to put anything in a comment section, heal is just kind of a nice word for the reminder that we're all working on healing something. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much for being here. Bye for right now.